The town I am in is called South Chicago Heights, and now it is an all-black American city. However, back in the 1970s, it was all white and known for being very racist. This is important to the story I am going to tell you. Back in the 1970s, the people that lived in this neighborhood made an agreement not to sell any of their homes to any person who was black. Then in the early 1980s, one of the older couples died. Their adult children wanted money. So their children sold the house to the first buyer that made an offer, which was a black couple. A few years later, 2 more black families purchased homes in this neighborhood. Then 3 years later, this whole neighborhood was black. This was because all the racists moved. So in the 1970s, there was still a lot of racism in the United States. In my video called The First Time I Heard the N-Word, I talk a little about what it was like growing up in an all-white area in the 1970s. Unfortunately, I did not put this video in all languages, so the link might not be at the end of this video. I have only had one bad breakup. I can still talk to all the other women I dated, or were my girlfriend with no problems. But Eva, hell no. Eva was the girl I told directly that I do not like your mother. I do not like your friends. I do not want to marry you. Plus, I do not want to have children with you. Yes. I said those exact words. However, this story is not about Eva but about Eva's mother, whom I will call Karen. I never knew Eva's mother's first name. This story starts in Germany in the 1960s when Eva's mother was young. Eva's mother, Karen, decided to go to college in France. Her parents did not want her to go because the people in France might not like Germans because of the war. World War II was less than 20 years ago, and Europe was still attempting to recover. She went anyway. In the 1960s, the population of most colleges was 90% men and maybe 10% female. So Karen believed she was the prettiest and greatest thing. Believe me, she was not. Karen never went to college full-time, so she never got a college degree. When Karen was about 24, she met a black man from the United States. They had a relationship, and she became pregnant. This man did ask her to marry him, but she said no. Eva told me that the reason why her mother said no was because she said she did not need a man. Thus, women have been saying they do not need a man since the 1960s. After 1 year of being a single mother, Karen met another black man from the United States who she marries. A year later, Eva was born. I think Eva's mother got hit by the reality of being a single mother. Especially in the 1960s. The first black man, the man she said no to marrying, became a dean of Howard University. For my foreign viewers, Howard University is a premier black university. It is considered a prestigious black Ivy League school. After living in Germany for about 6 years, the family moved back to the United States in the 1970s and settled in Arizona. Eva told me that they had moved into a black neighborhood, and her mother was not happy. So the family looked for a house in a nicer neighborhood. Eva was very proud of her mother for doing the following. One day while her father was at work, her mother went house hunting and found a house. Her mother signed all the paperwork without the father knowing. Thus, she purchased a house he now had to work to pay for. Eva and I got into an argument about this. About what her mother did. I said it was the 1970s, and civil rights were only about 10 years ago. So there was still a lot of racism in the United States. There were still many places in the United States where people would not sell a black person the house, even if they had the money. So one of the reasons why your parents could not find a house might have been because your father was black. Plus, your father might not have wanted his children to be in a racist neighborhood. Plus, it was wrong for your mother to purchase a house without your father agreeing. He still has to live there. What about what he wanted? Eva completely disagreed with me. She never said why she disagreed. Eva also told me about how her mother ran the household. One day her father came home from work, and like always, the children were watching television. Eva's mother's rules were what the children wanted always took top priority. The father wanted to watch something special on television, so he took over the television for a few hours. The children became upset, and the mother took the children's side. Eva said her father was wrong. I said that the man had been working all day, and is paying for everything. Why can you not give him some time to enjoy what he is paying for? Some time to relax in his own home. Eva said something like the children should always come first. I told Eva that there was no way I could live that way. Eva ignored what I said and did not reply to it. Eva also told me that they were not allowed to go into their parents' bedroom on Sunday mornings, between the hours of 7 and 10 in the morning. Other than this time, her parents' bedroom door was always opened or unlocked so the children could come into the bedroom whenever they wanted. Needless to say, Eva's father and mother got divorced, And Eva was raised around a lot of angry and bitter divorced women. Eva told me about some of these divorced women's boyfriends. All of which were no good pieces of trash. I said to Eva that the problem is not with the men. It is with the women. There are a lot of good men, but the women keep choosing men that are no good. This story is from the 1970s. So what you men are going through today has been taking place for generations. The mother attempted to play these games and pass these games to her daughters. Her daughters teach these games to their daughters. If each female had 2 daughters, then after 3 generations, you now have 4 women playing the same games of 60 years ago. But the real problem is that none of these women can take responsibility or accountability for how their actions contributed to a bad relationship. This is why the cycle keeps repeating. Plus, from the United States Census, the United States has over 30 million single mothers. If one does the math, then this could be a whole lot of shit. Now you understand why things are getting worse with each generation. So before you marry any woman in the United States, be careful. Very, very careful. Thus, before you men get serious with any woman in the United States, you first need to know about her background. Was she raised by a single mother? Was she influenced by angry, bitter divorced women? How does she think the household and the children should be managed? This is just where you might want to start. Click subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and share this video.